Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, how are you doing? I am your host, Daniel Stafford, and you are listening to the Stafford Voice, where we are conservative in a world of liberal. Now, today we're going to talk about Independence Day, July 4th, 1776. Now, before we get started, I want to remind you there are many ways to listen. You can subscribe on YouTube's. You could subscribe through Stitcher or Spreaker or TuneIn. Whatever medium you choose, set the channel as a favorite. Hit the follow button. Whatever you have to do so you don't get left behind because you want to stay informed. In the case you aren't already following on social media, it's really easy. You can look me up on Twitter at Stafford Voice. Find me over on the Facebooks. Again, just search for the Stafford Voice. Wherever you're at in social media or the interwebs, just search for the Stafford Voice. I'm sure you'll find me. In the case you have a question, a comment, or a concern about anything we talk about here on the show, or something you see that you'd like for us to talk about, feel free to email it to us, thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. I personally answer each comment myself. Now, before we get started talking about Independence Day and July 4th, 1776, I would like to hear a word about our sponsors. Some crowdfunding sites are too liberal and keep more for themselves. Even worse, if they don't like you or someone gets offended, they'll cancel your campaign. But not at RWNJ Funding. They hold true to conservative and libertarian values. Plus, they won't cave to the PC crowd. More importantly, they believe in you. RWNJFunding.com. The right cause, the right values, done right. RWNJFunding.com.
Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Nothing will protect you quite like your sidearm, so why not give it the protection it deserves? Something as strong as the Second Amendment and stands the test of time, and better yet, made in the USA. A Rebel Road Tactical Custom Kydex holster is that and more. Call now and place your order with Rebel Road Tactical at 682-217-4579. Again, 682-217-4579, or online at rebelroadtactical.com. All right, the day is finally upon us. Independence Day, July 4th, 1776. Long hours, days, and weeks all culminate with the final draft of the Declaration of Independence, as it was presented to the Second Continental Congress for vote. Business began as normal for Congress as they got right into it, and the records of the morning detail as follows. Agreeable to the order of the day, the Congress resolved itself into a committee of the whole to take into their farther consideration the Declaration, and, after some time, the President resumed the chair. Mr. Benjamin Harrison reported that the committee of the whole Congress have agreed to a declaration, which he delivered in. The declaration being again read was agreed to as follows. Now, the final draft of the Declaration of Independence was read in its entirety as it was presented, where it was unanimously agreed to, again, minus the delegates from New York, as they have yet to receive instruction from their constituents on how they were to proceed to vote. That would never happen today. But later they would pledge their support. Now, I want to share with you two of my favorite parts. One of which is found at the very beginning, and the other is I think it's pretty much the last paragraph. And I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to think about what is being said. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles as organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Now, towards the end of the Declaration of Independence, it states, "We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right, ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor." I want to invite you to take a few minutes to read and study this document, the Declaration of Independence. Remember, the men and women involved in producing the Declaration of Independence knew what they were doing. They knew they were risking everything. They were risking their lives, all of their money, all of their fortune, their land, their homes, everything. And they did it because America is the last best hope for the preservation of liberty and freedom. I only ask of you this: what are you doing to support their cause? Now, that's all we have for today. Go out and celebrate our independence. And God willing, the Stafford Voice will be back next time around. You can follow me on Twitter at Stafford Voice. Look me up on Facebook or any other medium for social media by looking for the Stafford Voice. Email any of your questions or comments or even concerns to the staffordvoice@gmail.com. Now, I want to thank you so much for your time, and until next time, thanks, and God bless.